Oh my gosh. It's a bad video because I'm distracted. There's so much. Sorry, but I was distracted by I was trying to say what it was that I was looking at. I'm glancing over here, but I don't see it on the. I don't see it anywhere on the list of birds. Oh, meadow mole. Is that it? I don't know. Hey, buddy. Oh my gosh, could you be any cuter? Hi, buddy. Oh, you look just like an otter. Okay, I have to stop. Let's see who else I can see. Zoom out. I didn't know this place existed. I always get happy when I ride over this on the road. This road is a very busy road. Lakeshore Avenue, connecting Grand Haven and Holland. That was the least interesting part of this video. Palamita Reserve. Aww. Wow, it's 40 acres? Where is it? I'm gonna go walk around in it. Hey, little mole. Well. That's humans for you. I mean, I need one in order to live here, so I can't really complain. But not today. I'm on a bike today. I don't know how that looks. Sorry. I don't know why I apologize to you for existing. Like, I look however I look. Here's my feet. Or my legs. Or my socks. Yeah. Hi. So this is almost a good place to like write a song or do a check-in video. It would be absolutely perfect except for the car noises, but I suppose I've made them in New York City before, or Chicago, so this is just one busy road, not a million. Exaggerating. 10,000, let's say. No, that's not how many busy roads are in Chicago. I don't know. However many major throughways there are. I don't know. 500? Whatever. Anyway, I'm in, well, I'm assuming I'll also put the nature video that I just did. I'm at the Palamita Reserve. The Palamita Reserve harbors 5 distinct natural communities that are native to West Michigan. Many interesting plants and animals live here, some of them having become so uncommon that they have protected status. Established in 1995 through the generosity of the Sebastian family, this 40-acre nature preserve is owned and protected by the Land Conservancy of West Michigan. The Sebastian family named the preserve Palamita, which is Spanish for little dove, because the area was once a favorite habitat of passenger pigeons. Historically, western Ottawa County was a staging area for flocks of millions of these doves. I could keep reading. Oh, here in the forest along Little Pigeon Creek. That's why this creek is called Little Pigeon Creek. There's another like regular Pigeon Creek that way, I think, towards Holland, and then I live that way towards Grand Haven. This is my first time biking on this little trail. I could read you the rest of this. I don't know how interesting this is for a music YouTube channel, but... Okay, fine, I'll do it. You twisted my arm, person who isn't watching yet and maybe already stopped the video because it's 2 minutes in. Or like 5 minutes in if I put the other one at the start of this. Okay, I'll keep going. Here in the forest along Little Pigeon Creek, they fed on the nuts of oak and beech trees. Hunting parties hunted these birds in astounding numbers in the 1800s. Oh. Passenger pigeons became extinct. Oh, shit. Now I wish I hadn't read the whole thing. By the end of the 19th century, due to overhunting and large-scale timber cutting. Alright, this is depressing. Palomino Reserve is a great place for watching birds. During spring and fall migration, birds of all types stop at the reserve to rest and feed. Many species of birds also find Palomido's rich wetland and upland habitats a perfect place to nest and raise their young. Conservation of marshes like this along the coasts of the Great Lakes is very important for migratory ducks, herons, bitterns, rails, raptors, terns, songbirds, flycatchers, swallows, monarch butterflies, and shorebirds. The end. Unless I read everything all over this, which there's stuff about the forest, the dry mesic forest, mature upland forest, the hardwood swamp, the shrub carr, the wet meadow, and the Great Lakes marsh. Ooh, a globally rare habitat. I'm so in love. I'm so in love with this place that I'm looking at a sign the whole time. This little meadow mole. So cute. I don't know if this bird is happy with me. It's one of those red-winged blackbirds. A male one with the bright red wings. Let's see if my mole friend is back. Maybe that was a rare occurrence. Hello. My last name means bird, if you didn't know. Vogel. F-O-G-L-E, but really I think in the original German it'd be V-O-G-E-L. I think in Swedish bird is F-O-G-L-E, but yeah. Ellis Island fluke. I mean, you can go either way. You can either get it spelled correctly, V-O-G-E-L, but then pronounced wrong in English because they pronounce it Vogel, or you can get the correct Vogel sound by changing the V's to an F in English, but this isn't a compelling video, I realize. I'm just kind of a maker of things. I don't really like being perfect or polished or even all that interesting. Like, if you find it interesting to have a window into my life and my bike ride, oh, it's a yellowbird! I never see yellowbirds. It's so small. There's no way you can see it. Hang on. I missed it. It was too small and too far away. Man, it was better than the zoo because I know they're not too unhappy. I was going to say I know they're not unhappy, but then I changed it to too unhappy because I'm sure they don't love the sound of the street. So yeah, this is my life. Bike rides. Living in a place that's this sparse, you know, where you can just see nature and be alone. It's actually a little hard to remember that we're in a global pandemic, and that sounds horrific, and I probably shouldn't say that out loud, but it's a definite upside of having fallen in love with a, as he calls himself, a country boy. He's not a country boy. He's like a small town guy. You know, he's always lived in Grand Haven or Newaygo, Michigan, briefly in Colorado for a few years, but I don't think he's definitely not a city person. He loves this kind of life, and if I'm really honest, separate from how hard it was to kind of, or how hard it still can be to kind of figure out music connections, I prefer this kind of life too. It can be a little weird to live in a place that's kind of primarily a family kind of place and not be a nuclear family person. I mean, me and Brian, but you know, we have lots of nieces and nephews, and not very many nearby, but you know, my life is very full with a lot of people to love, so I don't need to have a nuclear family at this point in my life, because I don't like to say this to people who have actual babies because I don't want to be offensive, but my songs are my babies and my albums are my babies, and to have waited 10 or 20 years beyond what would be normal for someone. Holy cow! Oof, that guy's wings were so super orange. I mean, it's supposed to be a red-winged blackbird, but... Anyway, so to have waited, like, really long... I mean, like, I kept trying to be a singer-songwriter since my little traumas around it. I tell this same story all the time, but if you're new to this channel and you don't want to go back and try to find where I told it before, because how could you? There's, like, 700 videos. Hi, guys! Well, so the basic story is I was, like, elementary school, I say jokingly I was elementary school famous, but in other words, well, I guess it's hard to condense the story because it only happened because my friend died. Well, all of our friends, we were all friends with her. My classmate died, Sarah Lowe, and I wrote a song for her after she died of a brain tumor, and then the school had me put on a concert of all my original songs, or like, I don't know, 5 or 10 of them, including that one. And then I won like a statewide songwriting competition through the Wisconsin State PTA, and they gave me like a whole little plaque and stuff, Reflections Award. And I was already doing like serious piano competitions by this time, so it just started kind of blowing up. And then 6th grade there was another school-wide concert of my songs, and the school was really into me there. And then 7th grade, I think it happened again too. I think it happened twice in the middle school. And then I started having a lot of social problems because, I don't know, I guess I didn't know that that's what I was learning about at the time, but I basically learned about fame at a young age. I learned about the social problems that that can cause and the ways that that can make you stand out, kind of like a teacher's pet, kind of like a prodigy or something, I guess. And to end up being different, and at first really, 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 really liked for it, even by my peers, and then, you know, just not liked for it anymore. Not interested, either bored of it, or who knows, maybe envious, but I doubt it. I mean, who really wants to feel this compelled to write songs for their whole life? Like, so anyway, so I'm never trying to be offensive if I say like songs are like my babies. Like, I understand that babies have actual like lives, and my songs are like me expressing myself, and if they die it's not a big deal. But in terms of the time that it takes in my life, and the love that it requires, and the space in my mind that it requires, and the sense of connection and reflection and meditation and prayer, and just being really aligned and really listening in for what I should do and what to follow and who to be and how to be, and there's all kinds of extras I do that I don't even have to do as a singer-songwriter, like putting together compilation albums for our house venue in the clouds. That's been a new passion of mine with this quarantine, just kind of collecting tracks from people we have had at our house, or people that we enjoyed playing shows with in the different places that we've performed, Michigan, Chicago, East Coast, and then also even just writing other people who we just like or admire or have met along the way. Yeah, so I like doing all these things, but yeah, I don't have kids. I don't even know how I got on that. Oh yeah, because I live in a place that I feel, there are some places that I've lived where I don't feel as strong of misfit vibes as this. And I think to live in I think the one good thing about this area in terms of a place to live, other than that it's insanely beautiful, it's just like insanely beautiful all over this area. West Michigan in general, it's like It's like a coastal town, basically. If you've never been to the Great Lakes, they feel like little mini oceans. You can't see across them. You can't see any of the land to the right, left, or in front of you. So they feel like very calm oceans without the salt water and without the scary creatures and shuffling your feet and all that. And I love oceans. Like, don't get me wrong, I do. But I've been on Lake Michigan my whole life. I'm from Racine, Wisconsin, and then I lived in Chicago for my early adulthood, and then now I've lived here, and all of those are on Lake Michigan, within a few miles of it. So, yeah, if you've been watching me for years, I'm just basically telling the same stories because I assume that most people don't watch me for years, but, yeah. But that's what my life's like right now, I guess, is bike riding. I've been eating a little more veganish, so kind of losing some weight. I don't like to talk about that because I have had many friends or acquaintances who, yeah, like I think that there are a lot of people in the world who want to celebrate fatness, and I wish I had met them when I was younger and wrestling with some of these topics, because then I maybe never would have ended up with an eating disorder like I had when I was 18, and then my sister-in-law kind of talked me out of. But like, and I wrestled with food my whole adult life, but like, I prefer being very like healthy and fit, and I haven't been for the last few years because I've been wanting to really, there's a lot of reasons, but there's a lot of reasons. I could leave it at that. But it's been really nice lately to just kind of focus on health again, and I have a lot more time free without like compulsively snacking my feelings. But like, that's so dismissive of myself and of addiction, and like, we've been living in, like, prior to this time, prior to a global pandemic, we were living in some really volatile politics. And that's right when I had put on weight from being on birth control. And that's right when I was going to start taking it off. I was about to make a music video with people. I tell this story all the time, too. But, like, I even told them, like, I can't do the music video until I take this weight off. And then I couldn't take the weight off because I was so frustrated with so many different things, and I had so many changes going on, and I had so many new challenges. That was in 2016. I just couldn't take the weight off, and then everything happened politically, and it's like, then I really couldn't take the weight off because I was just upset all the time, and started doing all these like personal life-changing things, like writing a song every day and sharing it on YouTube. And I went through so many transformations from 2017 through 2019 that I hate to say this because it just sounds like an excuse, but it kind of is. But it's more like an explanation. Like, worrying about my weight or my size or my body image just went way down on... I have an itch on my head. All of that just went way down on my list of things to care or worry about. What kept rising up was, holy crap, I've been writing hundreds of songs for years and I'm ashamed and scared to share them. What's that about? So I started tackling that. And I'm like, if there's all these people in the world that are feeling free to speak their mind, and I think that they don't even necessarily have good values, then why am I, a person who's trying really hard to not harm anybody, being so afraid to exist, you know? So I started sharing, and first YouTube, then Bandcamp, 365 songs in 365 days is 2017. 2018 is 12 albums in 12 months. 2019 was 2 other big epic challenges, neither of which I finished. I'm really truly just telling the same stories. Maybe I'm telling the same stories, but in one condensed way. So 2019 ended with me like doing this 52 Dreams challenge, where I tackled one like music business to do every week, and other creative projects like a kids album and feelings videos, and then I did cover songs, 444 Hearts, and I got pretty far into that, and I was doing them like really like high quality Pro Tools style. And then I had always said that I would quit if Trump got impeached, so then I quit. And I know the impeachment didn't go through, but that still counted. So I don't know. It's been nice to stop doing personal challenges. I think it's how I've been able to really look at like, whoa, like I can't put that much of my own life out on display every single day. Like this is the first video like this that I've made in a while. Well, I've actually made a few in this last month. But at a certain point I was making things like this like almost every day. And it was good and it was therapeutic. But now I spend more time like journaling or like focusing on my relationship or my family or my business, how to make money, how to grow, how to dream, how to just be a person. Like I don't have the same headspace that I had for those years. I think it really was like a cocoon, like a chrysalis. Sorry, I thought you could see that bird's orange wings, but he was too far away. Can't believe I got to see that mole. Anyway, so I think 2017 through 2019 was like, I mean, it's the most shows I've ever played, the most cool posters I ever accumulated. Went on tour, I was in a band, like, I opened for Galen Leah, like, I just pushed and pushed and pushed. I became friends with Johnny from Florist, and, like, we almost opened for them in Grand Rapids, but then that fell through, but still got to meet them all and hang out with them, and had so many cool people at our house, Brianna Morella. It just felt very dense for those 3 years, and this past month, 2-3 months, has not felt dense in terms of outer stuff. I was going to say like outward or out toward, I don't know what I was going to say. Anyway, it has not felt dense. It has felt the opposite. And what's weird is internally, it feels way more dense. So I think that something in me just broke. Like, not just with the pandemic. It was before that. It was when I stopped doing the challenges. A lot of things started shifting. I think I knew my health was something I needed to look at. I think there were other things I really wanted to look at that were more private, and I just, yeah. Just retelling the same stories. I also had a really hard end to 2019. Some things happened that triggered some old wounds. If you want to know more about that, you can listen to Trigger Warning. It's an EP on my Bandcamp. It's explicit though. So, it's a very weird check-in video because like I'm in a really beautiful place, but my thoughts aren't very beautiful. And I think that's part of what I've been learning is that sometimes, most times, you just need to be quiet and like enjoy and be present with things. And that's hilarious from a person who has like 700 YouTube videos with a lot of them just talking. There's some clouds. It's like I had read that in so many books, but I couldn't be that kind of person because when you have as much trauma and all that as I've had, it's hard to just read something and then change your whole being, you know? And I've tried so many times, and I think I've never been diagnosed with this, but like I kind of relate to the concept of like borderline personality, where it's like, and I don't know if this is actually true, but I think it reminds me of things that I've lived through where it's like a glomming onto something, like an idea. I'm going to glom onto this idea, and I'm going to hold it so tight, and I'm going to be that. I'm going to be like that idea. And then if it doesn't fit right, then I have to throw off the whole idea and start with a new idea. And it can make people around you feel like they don't know who you are. And that it can also, it used to frustrate me because it can make people around you like not believe you when you start towards a new path. They just maybe won't, you know, embrace the fourth partner that you've brought home, or embrace the fourth career path that you're obsessed with, or embrace the fourth like life or food or health or sports exercise philosophy that you're now having a kick about. Like, I know a lot of people like this who are just always on a kick and then it changes kicks, and it's like, it's hard for people to take that seriously. It's not that they're not taking you seriously. It's that they're not wanting to put stock in that current thing as if it's a fixed thing, because they know you. They've been watching you, and you're not a fixed thing. You're a changing thing. You're an evolving and flowing thing, and they see that, and they see that you love to change, and they see that you don't necessarily stick and hold on to the things you change with. Like if you're someone like me who's moved so many times and like started over, or who's had a divorce, or who's had many relationships, and the only thing that will ever create that stick and stay feeling is time and staying in a choice. And I'm not saying stay in a wrong choice, because I've left many wrong choices. It's almost like learning to get better at the front end at noticing when something's a wrong choice and like hurrying up and getting out faster. That's actually where I've had most of my growth. Is I'm noticing now that I'm older that I hear frogs. I'm noticing now that I'm older, I can recognize way faster when I'm getting myself into a situation that isn't good for me, communication-wise, even long-distance ones, even just ones that are... He stopped. Oh. I doubt you can hear that over the cars and plane and the everything. It's just one tiny little frog, I think. But anyway, yeah, I definitely don't think... The main thing that I needed to learn is that the solution to making the wrong decision is not sticking out the wrong decision for the rest of your entire life. That just rarely works. The only way it would work is if you block out the awareness that you feel like it's a wrong decision. Or if you genuinely believe that you grew into that decision. Ooh, here's the yellow bird again. I got distracted because this red-winged blackbird came right up. There he goes. But there was a yellow bird. I think he's gone. So loud. Hey guys. Oh, there's the yellow ones. Oh, they're so far away. Oh, sorry, it's my favorite color. These frogs are excitable. Well, this makes me feel a little bit more sympathy for flooding basements. I mean, we are like building on wetlands. It's a very, very marshy, swampy area. I think they use the word marsh here. Let's look. Oh no, they use both. Swamp and marsh. Migratory songbirds. I want to see a red-tailed hawk. Oh, this might be the guy that's yellow. I don't see any other yellow ones on here. Common yellow throat. Didn't look common to me. So to conclude, I've held a lot of expectations of people in my life. not the main players necessarily, but the more periphery players, like extended family. I've expected them to understand me just because I understand me. I mean, if the only way you could understand me is to take the time to watch 700 YouTube videos, then you're probably just gonna decide not to understand me. Like, you're not gonna go do all that work for one random friend or family member. And I think that used to make me feel really small and unnecessary and unimportant. And I think some of that comes down to the fact that most everybody my age has families, like kids, basically, is what I'm saying. And, you know, I have a boyfriend of 6 years, and it's wonderful, but it's not as demanding or as maybe all-consuming or all-encompassing as that. That swallow was really cool. So, and I had wanted to have kids, to be fair. I had thought about it at least 2 times in my 20s. And maybe once, yeah, in my 30s. And then I stopped thinking. For personal reasons, not related to me necessarily, but not related to me. Anyway, kids are cute, but I think people who don't think about how much work they are in for a lot of heartache. Like, if you've always felt casual about it and not sure if you ever wanted kids, like, that's not necessarily the formula for success if you're not ready to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars in 20 years for even just one kid. And I've had really extensive grad school debt for the last long while. And yeah, debt makes it hard to imagine a house, a mortgage, any other adult things. So anyway, that's my life. I don't know. I might never upload these. I've kind of lost a little bit of interest in doing that. I don't know that this has anything that profound inside of it that would help anybody that much. I don't know that it's my job to help anybody. I don't know if it even is something that I enjoy documenting me anymore. These used to make me feel really good. So far, making this one, I haven't felt that good. I felt kind of weird. Those trees over there look really cute, like Dr. Seuss trees. I'm gonna get those. I've never lived somewhere with bald eagles in it before. But these bikers nearby me just spotted 2 of them up in the trees. There and there. They look like little brown blobs with white heads. It's pretty amazing. It looks way better in person. I know you can't see anything. That's so cool. Bye. Yeah.